good morning, good people. It is Sanjay and Rose with Motivation Station. Rose, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, my motivated people. Today we're going to be drinking some tea.
Yes, I made my mushroom coffee today. I haven't had mushroom coffee in like 4 days now, and I think today was like the best day to do it. I also changed my camera angle, which is gonna be weird because I have to look this way to look at you, and then that way to talk to people. But I love the teapot.
This
Cheers,
is
by
my
the way.
mom's favorite thing to drink is tea. We haven't gained
Take your time. It's okay.
another angel. Today we're going to cry. Today we're going to laugh. Today we're going to be happy. Today we're going to honor. And today we're going to be proud. We're going to be
Absolutely.
proud. You see my mom picture in the middle. That was picture was taken. That was her outfit going to my niece's wedding, and my sister picked the dress together with her, and I accessorized it. I said, "Mom, you need a beautiful necklace here and the little beautiful earrings," and I put it that together for her, and she looks really nice. It's her kitchen. Today I decided to wear dress. She loves dresses, and today is the blue sky with the clouds, white clouds. And yesterday was such a beautiful day. It was sunny, and I knew that heaven gained another angel and opened the gates for her. I did went to the Bell Mount, which is the mountain, the highest point of where we live. When you
Hmm.
come here, I'll show you, and you can see. I'm sure you've seen the pictures and how it was storms all around me, but it was beautiful blue sky on top of me
Hmm.
and the beautiful rays of sun in the front. It was just gorgeous. On Tuesday, I did let her go. I said, Mom, yeah, I know you're tired, and I know you're tired of battling. It's been a tough year. And when I let her go, 3 days later, she went. We had such an honor and privilege of talking about her all this time, and I am proud for this moment, and I'm grateful for you that was able to do so. And she was beautifully in this vacation spot. She was so happy. She picked some wild berries and she was around the river. She didn't even want to go back. She said to my sister, I don't want to go back. But she needed to. She was in a really bad shape. She wasn't eating. She was throwing up. And my sister still took her home with my nephew. And then the night when she coughed blood, they decided to go to her hospital. And she was under the oxygen mask. And that was it. That was the last days. And she was 74. I want to say I'm really proud of my mom, who she was. Just a little girl, firstborn, bringing all of her siblings to from the very small village to the city, making sure everybody had a place to live, everybody had food on the table, and making sure her kids were fine. She lost her first husband early on. My dad also passed away very early on, so she was always did everything by herself. I'm proud of her, the first being a firstborn. She finished first one who finished college. She had a job she loved so much. She would always dress up very nicely. Her closet was always full. She was very strong. very kind, and very pure. And I believe I got that from her.
Mm.
So today, we honoring the beautiful lady that gave me life, and that was beautiful part of our show.
Amen. Cheers. But I mean, I am my deepest condolences to you and your family, and I hope your family over there is doing well. Um, and I mean, it is sad, like you know, death. It's a part of life. Um, but I think it's a beautiful thing to live, and she definitely did that, right? And not only so did she do that, she brought that out in others, including her children. Like, I more or less, I do feel like you are the spitting image of your mother, you know, all her good habits, her bad habits, everything, like you represent who she is, and you're doing a fantastic job doing it, right? And beyond words, I can't even give you like an amount of how proud she is of you. And I say is because she's always gonna be with you. She's always gonna be with you. It's it sometimes does feel like like I mean, yeah, in the physical space, like she's no longer here, but there's always evidence of our loved ones being around. I saw I didn't get to add the pics to the podcast. Like right now, I just have her pic here, and then the video that we'll show in a little bit. But like you sent me pictures of like the clouds. You sent me pictures of a little butterfly on like a bottle, and I'm like, that's just her. And think about it. Like she was all the way over there. Now she's here with you. Like shining up the sky for you, showing beams of sunlight and warmth and love. And then her showing up as a butterfly. So
I want to
those.
say thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everyone who reached out.
Hmm.
I've received tons of messages and tons of love and support, and I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for all the prayers that you guys been giving all this time, and the the minute she passed, it was in the morning, and for me it was 1 o'clock in the morning. It was a full moon right now, and it was rainbowing, and it was a triangle, and in the end of triangle was a little rainbow,
Mm,
and I was and it was her. Obviously, I didn't know when she was passing, but it
yeah,
was
yeah.
that moment, that minute when she was going. Angels are here, and I knew this year would be a turning year, either for good, either for not so much. And I received a lot of support from heavens. My grandpa came,
Mm,
her father, my father came down, um, her mother, my grandma, my other grandma, my aunt, everybody came. And when first time she was unconscious, when I connected to her soul, she came in my aunt's apartment. She was in my aunt's apartment, so I understood that this is going to be a last year. But sometimes we don't want to believe in it, right? We want to still want to do stuff. Like, Mom, you're still gonna make it. You're
mhm.
still gonna make it to Turkey. I was till the last day she was active. Even the last day, she still went out, walk her walk, picked up the wild berries, which is you need to go on the ground and pick them up. It's a job,
Yeah, yeah.
and
It's
I'm
not. It's
proud
no
of
easy
her.
task. Yeah.
She did so much. She was doing 10,000 steps, going to concerts, doing things just because she knew she could. She was the toughest, the strongest till the end. She's the captain of our ship. She's our general. Even my brother said that. She already buried this morning. by all the traditions, and we honoring her. I'm going to be going to mosque today and making my donations and praying. And there is a special prayer with the rosary. You do it 7,000 times. The more you do, the better.
Yeah, of
Let's
course.
look at 7,000 times. It's that a beautiful moment. So that's what I'm going to be dedicating it tomorrow. Sunday is her spa day. Sunday she would always take a bath and pray. The amount of prayer she did for all of us. Wow. I was like, wow. 5 times a day. And each prayer for her kids were like tremendously big. The amount of
Oh no. She dropped. She shall return shortly. Frank, thank you for your condolences. Alright, hold on, let me bring her back in.
I
Alright, you're
believe
back.
it's her. I believe my mom is saying hello.
Hold on. Let me. I gotta fix this. Hang on. Alright, this will do. Um, yeah, you're back. Sorry, I saw you drop. And also, I just want to say, Frank offers his condolences. Frank, thank you.
Frank, thank you. Yeah, Frank was very supportive of this moment. Yes, thank you, Frank. It's factical. I'm crying right now, Frank. I'm crying with you, but I'm crying and I'm also happy that she doesn't have to suffer anymore because the medication definitely take a toll. She's been with this for 9 years, and people don't live that long with this disease. Do people recover? Yes, they do. There's a remission, but was her path, and she beautifully made it. Almost 10 years. People don't live longer than 5 years, and I believe we did prolong her life. And I will finish the book that we started writing with her. I will finish it for her and her life story, stories that she always told, that always gonna go on. All of the quotes, we always have our parents' quotes or something they always said, something they did, their favorite music. You know, I did play her favorite song this morning, and she always liked dancing and singing, and she was a happy person, strong, and we're gonna take that part and go on with that. And I said, when you asked me yesterday, do you want to take a break? I said, no. Show must go on. Show must go on. And she would say the same thing. And I said, no. We're just going to take moments to honor. And I'm grateful that we started this show to be able to do even these little things. That's not little, that's huge. Just to
Honestly, I
be
think
able to
I I
honor
I I,
someone's life is huge.
I do feel like a lot of motivation from you, especially came from your mother. Not only just like the drive of success, but like just the wanting to live life to the fullest and to live your dreams and everything. I know it all stemmed for her, and I think one of the beautiful things, and I'll show the clip shortly, is like now she's just gonna live on with Motivation Station too. There's always gonna be an episode of her just showing her talking, her saying her thank yous and stuff like that. And it's beautiful because it's kind of like one of those things when you look at old photos and old videos and you want to remember these moments, and now she will live forever. You know what I mean? Like she's just gonna be here in for with us in Motivationization.
She's the
And
angel of our show.
absolutely 100%. And I was happy that she was able to hop on that call the one time. And I definitely wanted to see if we can catch up with her, but now she's just gonna be part of her show indefinitely. She's just gonna be watching above and She's like, well, today's episode 38, and my daughter Rose is dedicating this episode to me.
The funny part, I was born when she was 38.
Really?
Yes, and the show is number 38.
Yeah, this is episode 38.
So
That's
the
that's
last
crazy.
time,
You
whatever
know what's
happened
funny?
with the Frank show, it split it. It's for the reason. Because it's
It, it,
38.
the funniest part was I was gonna ask you. I was like, because I know we talked about numbers and things like that before, and I was gonna ask you. I was like, hey, is there any significance to 38? I meant to ask you like before I made the episode, but like this morning we are trying to scramble, and then I broke some stuff on the stream, and then I was like, you know what, it's fine. I'll just label it. But I'm happy you mentioned that because it's very interesting. You know what I mean? It's very in a way it's very comforting too. You know what I mean? Like
Yes, I was
it's a
born when
good
she was
contribution.
38. So it's a beautiful number, 38. 38, it's also, if you plus it, it's 11.
Mm,
And 11 is a good number. That's the day she died, on 11.
mm,
And if you put it together, 11 is 2, 2 is balance. So, also, when she was on Tuesday, when I let her go, and I also asked God, I said, God, please give me something easy to remember the death date, because I can't really keep up with all these birthdays and death days. It's like so much, right?
oh,
I said, obviously you can't forget your mom passing day, but however, I said, give me something easy. And you know what he gave me? He gave me 7-Eleven.
gave you 7-Eleven.
Yes,
Are
it's the store. The store 7-Eleven.
Oh, okay.
She she passed on July of 11th. So
Yeah,
it's 7-Eleven.
yeah.
So
It's gonna be tough to not remember that day,
yes,
especially. But yeah, no, you're right.
7-Eleven. And 7-Eleven together is 9. And 2025 is also 9. And 9 plus 9 is 18. And 18 is 9. So 9 is the finishing of your cycle.
Mm,
So she did finish her cycle. And now the heavens open the gate for her. And she's going to be at peace, happy. Said, now you're not going to have any pain. No pain.
yeah,
And that's what's making me be more happy, happy for her. That she is happy. No pain, no suffering, and being with God, walking with God.
yeah.
And
And yeah, go ahead. No, I was gonna say, and like I hope I really hope you know that. I mean, I'm not gonna say I can um exactly speak of like how you feel, like I can relate exactly, but it was like for me, like when my grandmother passed away, it was a weird moment because I know it had happened, and it was my dad's mom, and my dad was crying, my mom was crying, everyone was crying, but for whatever reason, like I couldn't cry, right? And I couldn't for the life of me figure out why I wasn't crying. Like I was sad, I was deeply sad, like I could just feel like a hole in me. And it was sometime later, and I had gone out with my friend James, the guy that was on my podcast, a little while back. They got married. Congratulations again. Um, and we're on the ride back, and I was explaining the story, and I was like, my grandmother passed away, and for some reason, like I can't cry. I feel stuck, and he told me at the time, he was just like, maybe it's her way of holding on to you. Maybe it's her way of protecting you, because she doesn't want you to be sad. She may be gone from this world, but she just wants you to keep going, because that's what she represents for you. Like I remember telling him stories of like there was a, there was a decent language barrier between me and my grandmother. So she obviously was fluent in our language, and I
yeah,
barely spoke it. But I listen, like whenever I talked, and whether I spoke in English or spoke in like my native language, all she did was sit there and smile at me. And I remember pouring like my dreams into her. I was pouring like everything like I felt, and I was like I knew, I like in a sense I felt like maybe she understood, but I knew logically she probably didn't, because English is not her strong suit. But she would just look at me and smile. So then that's what I took with it. And then when my friend James said that, it made sense because I was like, no matter how sad I was when she was around, she made sure I never cried. And if I cried, she would just hold me. And I would say probably after the passing, I felt like I was being held, and I was held. My tears were being held for sure, you know. And he said that, and like it made sense because all she wanted to do was protect me. And even after the time gone, like she continued to do that. So,
Yes.
you know, after he said that, obviously I started crying like crazy. But besides that, it's like your mother, you know, like even though she may have passed from this realm, like you're always gonna represent her, right? She's always gonna be with you, and look how far you've come, right? Look how far that like your attitude about a lot of things. Like I remember even like the on the episode with Frank, we're talking about like how we feel with darkness, and like you know you're like, you know what, you can leave the darkness in people, you know, and like you plant the seed of light and help them grow that light, not take out the darkness. And like even little ideals like this are things you grew up with because you understood this from your mom, you understood this from your life experiences. You know, your mom was a fighter, 110%. She was a fighter. And you know, I'm sure if you had the ability to be there, right, she would have just held your hand and said, keep fighting. 110%. You know, she's like, let me rest and you keep fighting. And you're doing exactly that, right? It does. I mean, I am. It's like even with my grandmother, it was the same story. Unfortunately, I couldn't see her go, you know, but she made sure of not not a second passed that she didn't stay in my presence, you know. And same thing with your mom. And you know,
Yes.
we will go out there, you know, we will
Thank you,
travel that far.
Frank. Thank you, Gina. I'm hugging you all. Thank you, everyone who's watching, will
Oh
be
yeah,
watching.
sorry. Hmm.
And I want to say thank you for this legacy. I feel like this is a legacy now. We created a legacy. And what
Absolutely.
we created is definitely something big, huge. Maybe it looks small for some people, but for us, it's huge. Just to be able to honor Mother's Day with your beautiful wife, just to be able to speak to your brother in law, JD, just to be able to put people in the room and say you are capable of doing more. You are capable of fighting the darkness and find the light. And just to be able to put even my mom in the room and say, hey, how grateful she was and how beautifully you can live your life. Yes, things happen, always happen for her. As a firstborn, as a moving everyone, as having three kids, and my brother was married early on, had a kid, went to army for 2 years. She needed to stay for all that, making no money, still trying to have money on the side. I don't know how she did it. She saved from little. She would save and then buy a refrigerator. She would save and then buy a computer or a TV. And for her just to be able to, even though she went for vacation, she's like, oh, I just paid. I was like, Mom, your pension is so little. She probably was making like 300, which half of it goes to the bills. I don't know how she did it, but she did. And for her to be able to do it, she taught me a lot. And I want to take what she taught me and bring it to the people because the purity of her heart, of morals, that no, it's not nice to do that. And she'll never do it. No, it's never giving up because there's no other choice. Being weak is not an option. That was her mindset.
Yeah.
And I want to bring that on because that's my legacy. And I'm glad she met Nala. She really doesn't like dogs or animals, but she met Nala.
Hmm.
She was able to. to give me something, a valuable lessons that it's worth living for, and amount of I love yous I said this year for her, amount of phone calls every single day and night, and just to be able to get to know her more, that was worth everything. And what we do here, it worth everything. And I just want to say, show must go,
Yeah,
show must go on.
she would have 100% said exactly the same words. I agree. And yeah, I don't know. I also find just mothers to be just very magical. You know, like yeah, you made me think about my own mom, and like she's retired now, and she's living off whatever retirement funds. And there was never a moment that like went by that like I was hungry or like I didn't feel like I had a roof over my head or anything. And I I wish I was a little bit tougher than I am. Now I think I'm getting a little bit better. But like she did like I'm sure your mother went through it too. But like my mom did like the same job for like 40 years without like
The same thing.
without
Yes,
complaining, without like
no complaint.
she felt sick, she went in. Like the one time she was probably called out was like when she was actually like bedridden sick, like she couldn't even get out of bed. And that probably happened like 3 times in her life. That shit happens to me like 3 times in a month. You know what I mean? Like I just wish I was a little bit stronger. But like both my mom, dad, like my mom just so driven, so just like your mom, just like they just have this. There's no failure, there's no like I can't do this.
There's
We
no
just
complaints.
There's no complaint, just keep going through it.
Yes,
And like the lesson I learned from my dad was like always bow your head, like out of respect, even if it's someone above you, if it's someone below you, just always be respectful and stuff like that. And it's crazy, like when I think about it, like if you really think about it, even our family was they're all our age at one point, even younger, and they learned these lessons through their parents or their life experiences. So then when I look back like that and I see your mom, I see my parents, it's amazing how far they've come, you know and on top of all that, I mean, I'm speaking now for like my parents. Like there's times where my parents come back, well, my dad more than my mom, but they'll come back to me and be like, we feel like we didn't do enough. And I was like, are you kidding me? You did
a
so,
lot,
look at what I have,
so
look
much.
at where we are. And I was like,
Yeah,
you did everything. So God forbid the day come, right? But when it does, and hopefully I will be there, like if they say they want to sleep and rest, they earned it. I'm not gonna be like, don't feel guilty. Don't feel like you're leaving your family behind. No, none of that.
yes.
You've earned your rest. And your mom, she's earned her rest. And I'm happy that she was able to experience a little bit more from life before that. Go on her
And I'm
vacation and all
glad,
that.
and I'm glad that maybe here she was able to come here twice.
Mm.
She was here in 2014 and 2015. So we did go to Washington, D.C. And we went to Thousand Islands. We went to Niagara Falls. We went on the boat. We did a cruise tour on a boat to see the Statue of Liberty. We did stay on Christmas Eve. We stayed in New York in a hotel. So we went to Rockettes. We had dinner and a show. And then the next day we were just walking around New York in the Christmas time. You know, it's magical.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me to be able to do that, it was amazing. And in Washington, D.C., luckily that time I had a Hyatt Rewards or something like a Regency. And
Uh
we stayed in one of the most beautiful hotels when they have a piano on the
yeah, yeah,
water
yeah,
on the
yeah.
first floor. It's just so gorgeous. I was able to do so. And she would never done it if I
Yeah.
wouldn't be here. And
Mm.
I even asked her, I said, Mom, do you want me to drop everything and come home? She said, no. You've been there for so long and continue winning. I need to be a winner.
Mm-hmm.
I need to finish the book that we wrote. I need to finish the book that I'm writing because we're going to go big just for her. And and this show was just she knew about this show and she was just like wow moment, right? Just this something so small, but it's not at the same time so big and huge. Just to be able to even talk about our families and honor our parents. It's amazing.
I'm gonna flip the perspective, right? I'm telling you, like, from her end, looking at you and what you're doing, she's probably blown away. You know, she's just like, my daughter's grown up. My daughter's working at a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. My daughter's doing a podcast with this awesome partner, Sanjay. You know, like she's thinking very very highly of you. And I bet you at points in her life, she looked at you and she's just like, will Rose make it? You know, because I can say that's what my parents felt about me. Like, will Sanjay make it? And like, just to flip the perspective, like, she looked at you, and the reason she said the things she said to you is because she knew that you did. She know that you will, and you will continue to be successful. Like, she had no doubt in her mind for even a split second that you wouldn't be able to do it. You know, like, I know, like, growing up for me and my parents, like, my parents were just like, they weren't sure, you know, me being physically disabled, they didn't know how to do it. But like, I can say genuinely from their perspective now, they're like, my son's making decent money, you know, my son is happy, my son has a family, my son has a daughter that he gave us, you know. Well, and I think I mentioned before, like, my mom and my daughter are like they're like best friends. And it's funny because like my mom always wanted a girl. So it in itself is a blessing that I had one, and I had one near her birthday. And like, they're just so close. And I think for my mom especially, she's just like happier. Like, she's happy, like, she doesn't have to look back and be like, I'm worried about Sanjay anymore. You know, like, now she's just like you know, like, she's just happy. She's at peace. And like, I think the last piece of the puzzle is like, she wants to travel with my daughter, so like, take her to India. So I'm hoping within the next few years we'll go there so we can visit family, because like, my mom wants to show her off, like, look at what my son gave me, and you know, stuff like that. um and like, yeah, just like you said, you took your mom to DC, you took your mom to New York, right? And you're right, without you she wouldn't have been able to experience that. Just like, I mean, I took my mom to a place that my wife and I went. Like, we made it a ritual to go every year. So I think I mentioned like Cape May to you before.
Yes.
And like, we made it almost a ritual to go every single year, right? And we've been doing that for about 5 years. Like, even I think the only one year we didn't go was like the year of COVID, but after that we kept going again. And I took her with me. And I do a thing, and I did it before. Whenever I hang with people, like, if we go somewhere, I always look at their expression. You know, I look at how they feel about it. Like, are they smiling? Are they happy? Right? And my mom was just like blown away. Like, all the decorations, you know, just being out with people, seeing Lily like run around and be happy, and just, she'll just go up and start talking to strangers. And I'll look at my mom. I'll look at my kid, but I'll look at my mom and just see how she is, and I can just see full fledged happiness in her face. You know, and it's crazy because I was like, I don't regret it, because I know maybe in the past I wasn't exactly in the place to be able to bring my mom out. But after a while I was like, like, it took me a little bit of while to just kind of come to that conclusion, but they've done so much for us, and for me to just take this little trip, very little, Cape May, just for like a weekend. And she had a blast, and she was blown away because, like, I remember I asked her, I was like, do you want to come with me? And she's like, are you asking to take me on vacation? I was like, I guess I am, And technically, being 30 what something years old, this is my first time I asked my mom, like, hey, do you want to come with me somewhere? And I rarely ever do that. So like, after that moment, like, I offer to take them anywhere. I'm like, hey, listen, we're about to go to this zoo. You want to come? Yeah, yeah, of course. And like, I'm trying to go to Myrtle
Quality
Beach.
time.
I can't make up for the time that I lost, but I can do with the time that do the best with the time
You
I have.
have, you still
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
So, but like
Yeah.
it just, your mother, she was able to experience such a fun life because of an amazing daughter. You know what I mean? She was able to come out here, have a good time, see how well you're doing. Let's we'll play it like literally right after this. But like like you, I know you remember that phone call we did during the podcast. You literally remember how much she was laughing and smiling, and despite the language barrier between me and her, she was still happy to like even see me because she's like, oh, this is Rose's friend, and I'm sure you said something along the lines of that too, like in Russian when you're speaking with her.
Yeah.
But I just remember how genuinely happy she was, and even in her toughest moments, I'm sure she was smiling at you.
She
You know,
never showed her weakness. She
never,
never
not
asked
once.
for any help. She always,
And I can probably tell you hand on heart, even until the very end, she stuck it through, and she's like, my kids will be fine, everybody will be good, and everybody will make it.
yeah.
So
She's,
without further ado, I'm gonna switch over. So our audio is not gonna
yeah.
pick up, but I'm gonna play her video for a little while,
Thank you.
and we will return. So let us have this little clip of Rose's mother. All right, hang on.
Let's do a silent moment.
Let's do this. All right, hold on. Let me move my screen because I think it's copying my screen. So I'm telling you, I broke everything today. All right, hold on. All right, here we go. Awesome.
50 squats, and what I was going to do on honor of her just for a few minutes, guys, I
Absolutely.
want to introduce my beautiful mom. She wants to say thank you for all the prayers. She's going to be speaking Russian. I'm going to be translating and see if she's going to
All right,
pick up.
you're gonna have to translate some messages back too. Then at that point, because we
Yeah,
want to say stuff.
it's just gonna be a quick moment, but I'm honored to be able to do so. Hi. Okay. I'm calling her to FaceTime,
Hmm.
and she knows that I'm calling her.
It's okay.
Hi, привет. Ну что, we on the show today. Ты можешь сказать свои благодарности за все молитвы, я переведу.
Hi.
Все, все говорят привет. She's saying hello.
I should have probably tried to learn Russian a little at least.
И мальчики. She said thank you so much for praying.
Absolutely, yes.
She's very grateful. She says she loves everybody. She's Балкицы. We're very proud of you, мама. Мы очень гордимся тобой. И тебя смотрит вся страна и весь мир. She said that she's wishing everybody health and happiness. She wants everybody to be happy and healthy. She's very grateful and she's sending you big hugs. Mama, I love you. Давай
Tell her that.
отключаемся, хорошо?
Oh, I was say tell her that we wish her the best on her journey, and we wish her nothing but the best, and maybe one day we'll get to meet her again.
Мы тебе все говорим, что мы желаем тебе классного путешествия дальше по жизни, и мы хотим тебя увидеть еще раз на подкасте, уже на полном подкасте с переводиком. Вот все, давай еще раз, пока-пока. До свидания. She's saying bye. She said, I love you guys. We love you back. Мы тебя тоже любим. Они говорят, мы тебя тоже любим. Все, покуськи.
Bye.
Пока. Люблю тебя. Все, ты красавица. Давай, я тебе перезвоню. Давай. Давай. Ага. Thank you so much. This was an honor.
That's
and
awesome.
Guys, I love you.
Listen, the journey she's on is definitely not an easy one, but you can tell that she has spirit. She has that fight in her. I honestly, Rose, you look a lot like your mom. I was like comparing the two. I was like trying to compare it from your phone to your face. I was like, yo, you guys look really close. I know, but She looks great, and I mean, you can tell that she has that fighting spirit. Like you can tell that she's doing the best that she can, and she's doing an
She's
amazing job.
fighter.
Like I know I have like family. You guys look really close. I don't know, but she looks great, and I mean, you know, you can tell that she has that fighting spirit. Like you can tell that she's doing the best that she can, and she's doing an
She's
amazing job.
fighter.
Like I know I had. You guys look really close. Yeah,
Live.
and I wanted you to finish watching it. I actually started crying watching that video. That shit made me so happy to see her again and be able to hear her voice. It's she was a blessing. She is a blessing. I'm sorry, and she loved you so much, and even from that video, you can see how much love there is between her and you, and how much she was wishing you the best of like what life has to offer and everything. So yeah, cheers to that. That that hit.
I hit the notes. Cheers to
That
cheers to
was
life.
yes. Cheers to life.
It's
Amen.
it's hardest pain to swallow, but now it's a new chapter. It's learning how to live without texting and calling your loved one, but always remember that life goes on and we continue to live and we continue to make our parents proud, our grandparents proud, and never forget that there are guardian angels, there are guidance. Listen to them, honor them on their days, make their favorite meals, pray, and always know that some people get, some people born. Like even I watched it yesterday. Some couple was getting married. Some person had a birthday, and some person died,
No.
and some person was born. So it's a cycle of life. It's happening, and it's happening to all of us. And it's all about how we react to it. Some people do close for a long time, like I did with my dad. And now I know that my grieving is honoring my mother, being proud of her, taking the good personal characteristics that she implanted in me,
Yeah.
grew me, and and that's how the life is gonna continue. It's gonna continue with full of blessings, happiness, taking care of your health. Your health is wealth, guys. Taking care of your health. Don't wait until the cancer will say hello to you. Check checkups. Take your vitamins. Eat your thin creams.
Yeah,
Have
100%.
you have you have your green tea? Smile always.
Always
Have
smile.
the moment. Be on the sun. Enjoy that walks. Enjoy the little moments. Enjoy the little things because those little things are everything.
They
So
are.
from now on, I just want to enjoy the little things, and those are everything. Those are big things. And if you today, for some reason, not talking to your parents, please forgive, forgive yourself, and make that phone call. Because you never know when you're
There
gonna
was
call again.
there was it's crazy how granted we take life sometimes. And I remember watching a video on YouTube, and I don't know why I watched it. Like it's one of those things. Sometimes I stay up late, and then I just start watching wholesome videos, and I don't know
Yes.
why. It's either cat videos or wholesome videos. But I was watching a video, and like it was like those prank videos that they do. So it's kind of like that, but it wasn't a prank, right? It was a person walking around with a
Hmm.
camera guy and a mic, and they're like, call your parents and tell them you love them. Like just right now. Like it's like in the middle of the day, they're just walking around. Just call them and tell them you love them, right? And a lot of people had done it, and their parents were just like stunned. The parents are like, "What's happening? Is everything okay? You know, like why are you calling me saying this? You know, because that just goes to show how much we don't actually show enough appreciation, and that when people like reach out like that, they're like, "Is something happening that you're saying this to me?" You know. So I definitely do my best to show a lot more gratitude. You know, and one thing I was gonna say to you is like I'm sorry that it's you know you're gonna miss those moments of phone calls and texts and things like that. But one thing that I did for a little while that helped me, that may help you, is honestly get a notebook, right? Get a notebook and write in there as if you're talking to your mom. Hi mom, how are you today? I did this today, I did that today. Every day make a journal, you know. And whenever you miss her the most, reflect on that journal, and it'll help. It did a lot for me when it was for my grandmother. I would just talk to myself, and I'm like, I hope you understand English now, or at least there's like a auto translator in heaven or something like that. But you know, like it did wonders for me because I felt like I was still connected. And I had a friend, and it's very interesting, right? So I'm spiritual, but like I don't know how deep my spiritualness goes, and I don't know if I ever told you this story. But I met someone online once. I don't talk to them anymore. They're a good friend. I hope they're well. But one day they were talking to me, and they told me that they were like a medium and that they experienced the paranormal and afterlife and stuff like that,
Yes,
right?
like me.
And she had told me one day, like when I was sitting at my computer, like she says that she randomly connects with people, and she's like, "Is there someone behind you?" And I was like I started freaking out. I was like, "What are you talking about? There's
Yes,
no one here, right?"
your
And
grandma.
yeah, exactly. She's like, "Well, there's an elderly woman behind you, and her hand is on your shoulder, on your left shoulder." And I was like, I was kind of taken aback because I was like, I don't know how I feel about this per se. And she started to explain what this woman looked like, and she basically explained seeing my grandmother. And now my grandmother doesn't speak English, right? So she's like, well, she's there, and she has her hand on your shoulder, but she has a very stern look, right? And she's like you know, she's like she sees her, but probably because she doesn't speak English, she doesn't know who I am. So she's being protective of like who I am to you and stuff like that. But she has her hand on your shoulder, and she's rubbing your shoulder to let you know that everything is okay. Needless to say, I cried after that. But the whole point is that like it just goes to show that like they're just there. They're just with you, and they want you to,
Yeah,
you know, like time. Look, listen. There's gonna be times in your like there's times in this podcast that happen, right? There's gonna be times in your day, times in your night, times at work, times you're in the shower, wherever, you know, that you're gonna miss her, and you're gonna be sad. But like, just know that it's all right to feel that way. You have every right to feel that way, you know. But just know that for the most part, and probably always, that they always want you to be stronger and happier and smiling. And they're like, Rose, don't worry about me no more, you know. I'm fine, you know. I'm traveling in heaven now. I'm doing my thing in heaven now.
it
Exactly,
was
there it is.
yesterday.
Yeah, I don't have the image, but
I'm
it
trying.
just like you see the beams of sunshine. I can't believe you had a view like that over there. By the way, I mean I've been Atlanta, or sorry, Georgia before. I guess, yeah, I guess closer to Tennessee or whatever. But
And I will show you this little 13-second a view uh, of the heavens. Look at that heavens light
yeah,
right there. And there were storms all around it. This was yesterday.
it was the
So
calmness in her that was shining through the hard
yeah,
times.
it's
Yeah,
like the the particular light right there.
yeah,
That was my angels. And I knew the heaven gained another angel.
yeah,
And and we're happy that she's at peace. We're happy that she's not suffering anymore. And we're proud of everything she have done. everything. And
You
we're
should
grateful.
you should be proud too. Like I mean,
We're grateful.
I know she's proud of you, but you should be proud too.
We're grateful not enough. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for every lesson, everything. And the one thing she always said, wherever you go, you always bring face of your parents.
Oh yeah,
So,
always.
but I always acted class, morals, purity, bringing goodness into people. And that's something that she planted in me.
L-
And I'm
l-
proud of who I am today
like I said,
because
you
of
you
her.
are you are literally you are a spitting image of your mother. You are the most representative person I've ever met of a mother daughter, relationship. So I, I know she's proud of you, and I know she'll always look after you, and I know you're gonna do well with carrying her legacy forward from this going forward, and maybe one day you'll have offspring of your own, and she'll just be like a piece of there. There's one thing I want to say, and I like honestly I don't know how life works, right? I don't know how any of this stuff works, but it's funny because after my grandmother passed was more or less the time I met my wife, and I told myself I didn't want to have a kid, right? But after I met my wife, I was like, if I was to have a kid now, this is the person I'd have a kid with, right? And then I had my daughter, and there's times in my dad has said it to me that my daughter reminds him of his mom, right? And
Wow.
it's because when when he would start giving me a hard time, my daughter would like protect me. My daughter would be like in the middle and be like, you can't hit him, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like he wouldn't hit me, but like she would like be like, you can't do this, right? And when my grandmother was around, that's exactly what she did. Whenever we went to India and like my dad got mad at me or he was aiming to hit me, my grandma would just turn around and threaten and be like, you hit him, you're gonna have problems, you know? And that's exactly what my daughter is doing to him now. And she's like, she reminds me of my mom. And I'm just like, it's very interesting and very funny in a sense. But the more I look at it, like I think my daughter does represent like my grandmother, and like her love for me, like my kids' love for me, it's so intense and it's so insane that I never pictured my life going this way. I never pictured like us being here. But the way that I've said it before, I don't think I've said it on the podcast, but my daughter has never like looked at me and frowned, right? So like of course there's times where she was crying and maybe she would look at me as she's crying, right? But like she has never looked at me and then frowned, which is something my grandma also did. Like whenever I looked at her, there was, even if she was hurt, tired, restless, anything, every time I looked her in the eye, never frowned, always smiled. And that's
Yes.
exactly what my daughter does. Despite her having a bad day, despite her not, her and I had a fight, or like we kind of bullied each other or whatever, right? Every time we make eye contact, she just smiles. And every time she smiles now, it reminds me of my grandmother. So I think I found peace within myself there. Um, and I think next podcast we'll talk a little bit more about it because I've come to learn the difference between peace and happiness, and it's very interesting. And I did want to dwell on that and talk about that more, but we'll talk deeply, or not deeply, but more about that later. But it's interesting how like a life is. It's just like, especially when it comes to family, like I'm sure like even in your sister or your brother, right? I'm sure there's likenesses to your mom that you'll see in them, just like they see in you. And like I'm telling you, and I know that if you when you if when not even if when you hit the path of motherhood, when you're ready to have a family and have a child, right? I know that when you have that child, you're gonna see your mom in her. You're gonna 110% see your mom in her, and it's gonna feel refreshing. It's gonna feel peaceful. It's gonna feel peaceful, you know. And until then we can, I mean, you're honestly, you're doing an amazing job, just living what you're living now. You know, like her, she knows you're looking to achieve your dreams and live your dreams, and you're getting there. And despite she might not physically be here, she's still rooting for you. You know, one thing I wanted to vow is definitely, when the time comes, right? Because I will come with you. We will go visit her back home. We will go visit her. We will wish her well. We'll spend some time with her. We will do that. I promise you. I'm making this promise on episode 38 of Motivation Station. We
Yes, that's
we
the one.
will. That is beautiful. We will 100%. We will go there and visit her. Okay.
Yes. And this is a little butterfly that decided to
Yeah. Yep.
come today and yes, and I know
She's
she's
still
next to
she's
us.
still with us in many forms. The warmth from the sunshine, the rainbow in the clouds, the butterfly that you saw there. She's everywhere. She's everywhere.
Thank you.
And I hope this episode brought you some peace. It's not gonna completely heal or make everything, but I hope that
It's
it
number
brought you peace.
38.
30. I
It's
100
the age
100%.
when I was born. It's it's her number.
And now it's gonna
It's
be
the
here forever.
yes.
All right.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Yes. Amen. Cheers to that. Um, yeah, we will continue to pray for you and your family. And
Thank you, every single person.
I do hope that I know without me having to say it, but I say it. You can reach out to me for anything, and I will do my best to do what I can for you. All right, of course.
Yes. Thank you.
Whew. I think that was a beautiful tribute to your mom. It was very nice to hear her voice again. I didn't even watch the clip. I mean, like I watched the clip as I played it, but when I prepped it, I didn't be like, let me hear her voice before I play it. But like as she was talking, and you can see the passion in her eyes as she was talking, like I just started crying, and I had to mute my mic. You would have heard me crying in the background. I had to mute my mic, and I was just like, this is a beautiful moment, and I see how happy you were. I see how much like how you were addressing, like the way you spoke with her, and it was just so beautiful. So I think this was a beautiful contribution. I love seeing her photo here. I love her her I love her in general. I love you. And I just love everything that you're doing. And as much as like I'm so sorry you couldn't be there, but I'll tell you right now, it for her, she's not upset. She's not mad at you for not being able to do it. There's some stuff out of our control, and she understands that as much as I know you do, but I know it still hurts, and it's okay. It's okay to feel that hurt. It's okay to feel that pain. But like, she'll want you to know that she's always going to be with you, and honestly, we're always going to be here with you. Frank, Gina, more. I'm sure Morgan would be here if she could be here, but like all of us, yeah, at Motivation Station and myself, we're all here for you.
Thank you.
All right,
This is the station for motivation
always.
and show must go.
The show must go on. Now we have even more so reasons to go on. And one day when we make it big, and we're on a TV show and they talk about us, and they're like, "So, what was your greatest motivation?" Rose's mom. 110%. Rose's mom. This is why we're still here. This is why we're kicking it. This is why we're successful. So I look forward to that day.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Yes.
Have
Cheers. Cheers
have a
to Rose's
motivated
mom.
day. Always have a motivated day.
Yes, and we will always be here. And honestly, even to our viewers, anybody watching, I mean, if you feel moments that you need this kind of like contribution, you need this sort of tribute. If you want to represent someone you love, someone you care for, and they're not here, and you want some love and you want to share your story of them, please, this is what we're here
Do
for.
please do. Yeah.
Like we want to we want things to live on forever. Like I think that was one of the big reasons for us for Motivation Station because, besides me saying this is therapy for me, I love going back to watching my own episodes and talking to our guests, talking to you, Rose. Even this video of your mom, like it's all very comforting, and it's nice knowing that this stuff is here and around, and I can catch it whenever I can. And I know for you, it's
Yeah.
like if you want to think about your mom again, if you want to think about a tribute to your mom, you can just come back to this episode or episode, when she was here with I think it was the episode with Chiamara and stuff like that, which was a beautiful episode in itself. But it's nice to have this kind of
Yes.
community in a
Every
sense.
episode it's a story,
Yeah,
and you can find, even if you find one piece on every episode, you're already winning
exactly, 100%.
because there is so much in each episode between quotes and stories and motivation, and it's just, guys, don't miss out.
Yeah, amen.
Rewatch it.
I agree.
Certain things needs to be rewatched, and this is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
And like I said, I mean, if you ever want to share your story or parts of your story or share your parents' legacy story, whatever you'd like to share, please hit us up. We would love to hear it. It is, it's almost like exhilarating how much it is nice to hear and motivating. Like, even after this tribute to your mom, like I feel motivated to like fight for the things I want to do in life, and I know that even in the video you showed us, like she saw me and she was talking to me and she was saying things to me. And even though I didn't understand, I know that love was there. I know that, like, hey, you can do it too. If my daughter can do it, you can do it too. She was telling everybody on the podcast I was watching and listening that day, like, you can do it too. Live your dreams, keep fighting. So it was very, very refreshing to hear her voice again. And it was very beautiful to see the interaction that was there. And we're that's what we are, Motivation Station. We're just gonna keep riding this train until the end of time at this
Yes.
point. But we appreciate everyone that
Thank
came
you.
by. We appreciate you
Yes.
guys
Thank you.
offering your condolences and your prayers and your well wishes. And Rose, of course, I love you. And like I said, if you need anything, please reach out to me. And I hope your mother. I don't need to hope for your mother because I know she found her peace, and I know she's watching over you, and I know she's well. And like you said, she's no longer in any pain. She's enjoying her life, and she's smiling, beaming down at you. So always remember that, okay? And
Thank
to the rest of you guys, stick around. We will see you guys next week with another episode. I'm trying to see if I can get a guest. I have actually a few friends interested in being in the podcast, so I gotta see what they want to do.
you. I have to
Uh,
see if the guest that I was talking about wants to be on.
Definitely let me know sooner than later, because if not, I might have one too. But we'll talk about this offline.
Beautiful.
It's fine.
Yes.
But anyway, guys. So once again, and to you too, Rose, and to Rose's mom, cheers to you guys. Love you with like everything we have, and we
Thank
wish
you.
you
I love
nothing
you
the
too,
best.
guys.
And we will see you guys. Wait, let me take a sip because this mushroom coffee is really, really good, by the way.
I see that you have a glow. I love that
Thank
for
you,
you.
thank you. You too. You do too. You're brighter than than you yourself because your mother's radiance is shining down on you.
I don't believe in the wearing black things when people die.
Yeah, no, I
It's a new beginning of life, so I wanted to wear something that represents heaven, represents blue sky, and represents my mom. It's a
it
beautiful dress.
is definitely sad, right? But I think it's more important to remember the good times because I'll be honest, for me, if God forbid when my time comes, I would want people to celebrate life, not miss what I'm missing out on now or that I'm gone. Celebrate what I've done. Celebrate what I was doing, you know? And take it as an appreciation to keep doing it. Keep going out there, keep having a good time, have fun. I'll be honest, like I think when my passing comes, like yeah, of course there'll be like a funeral and stuff, but listen, there's gonna be catering for food, there's gonna be an open bar. Like I want it to be a goddamn good time. It's like a party, But I want people to remember the goodness in me. I want people to remember
Yes,
to be happy,
yes.
to remember life. So
It's a
I pre
happiness of reconnecting with your loved ones
I
that left you.
appreciate your attitude and your commitment to your mother, and representing her in such a way is a beautiful thing. And I know you're gonna continue to shine on for her. So I have no doubt. All
Yes,
right.
thank
And
you.
to the rest of you guys, we will see you next week. So until then, guys, have a motivated day, and we'll see you soon. All right.
Have a motivated day. Bye bye, guys. Love
Take
you
care.
and thank
Love
you
you.
for
Take care.
everyone for all hugs and